piece of paper and have like a script written?
She pulled it out of my pocket. I came with it. So, yeah, it was. That was.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that was something I prepared for her. So,
as always, he hit it out of the ballpark.
He did, and Kristen Carney was the opening act. She did a nice job. She's originally from here, and a comic in New York City. She's also a dating coach, and Manansky was working on getting her back on for that.
Well, yeah, I guess.
The road.
So you have an email for her, right?
I do.
Yeah. So we're gonna reach out to her, and she's gonna come on. So she's a dating coach, and I guess she had a book out, but now she does some one-on-one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would that be considered therapy? Here's why you've been rejected.
It depends on how bad you are. Sometimes I think guys can be too good at dating,
right?
And
too smooth.
That's a turnoff. So she's found the perfect mix. So she says, and shockingly, says she's sold out in New York City, working with guys, but not just from here. A lot of it's Zoom, and she works with guys all over the world. Interesting. So that was kind of good. What do we think on? I got to tell you on the announcement by Blakeman. When is he on? I thought he was on this week.
Well, he was supposed to be on this past Friday, Bill, but there was a miscommunication between me and his PR person. But I am working on it.
Okay.
And he chose our good friend Madison County Sheriff Todd Hood as his running mate yesterday.
He did. And the only thing I'm going to say about that is I like Todd Hood and I like Blakeman. I just think it's not a good choice. And so Todd Hood, of course, let's just look at the math. You have a state that is overwhelmingly Democrat, overwhelmingly liberal, to the point where the third largest party in New York State is the Republican Party. You have Democrats, independents, and then Republicans. So in order for a Democrat or a Republican to win right now, you have to be able to take in independents and skim off a little bit of those of the moderate Democrats. So just think of that right now, and think of where we are as a state and as a country right now. And Blakeman, who's already leans right, he's a Republican, yes, but he leans further to the right, and he's just selected Todd Hood, who does a good job in Madison County, but Madison County is small. Name recognition, who he is. The other part is what Hood has for notoriety is the fact that he has announced and really is kind of, I don't want to say the word brag, but certainly announced from the highest mountaintop that he is not only working with ICE and not only cooperating with ICE, but he's working with ICE, and he keeps talking about that. You put those two together, I don't think this move, and Manansky, I'd love your opinion on it, I don't think that this move added a single voter to the mix for Blakeman.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I mean, everybody in Madison County, well, anybody, like you said, he's got to attract the independents and the conservative Democrats. And certainly I think all the Republicans in Madison County or upstate New York were going to vote Blakeman anyway. They're not really fans of Kathy
You're
Hochul.
not losing your average Republican, with the exception of those Republicans who do not support Trump. You already have them. But now you're all in on Trump, you're all in on ICE, and you have a net zero gain. That's the part I just don't understand here. Now, if this is great for Hood, I think this is awesome name recognition for him. It's going to get him out. And you know that these guys will be on Fox News often, I would expect, as they're running against Kathy Hochul. So it's probably good for Blakeman as well. But I just don't know how it gets them to the point where they're even making this thing close.
So the sheriff in Fulton County, Richard Giordino,
it's also a great story.
was I guess I don't know the backstory. All I know is that he was offered the lieutenant to run as the lieutenant governor, and he said after thinking it over, he has an obligation to his staff and the people of Fulton County, and wants to focus on his own reelection bid next year. So essentially, he said, "Well, why am I going to help him get elected? I need to help myself get reelected."
Here's the other thing I'm bothered by people in politics is why can't you just tell the truth? Why do you have to get down that road?
Is there another story?
Yeah, that's not the story. That's not real.
Scandal?
So it's not even a scandal. So Giordini, is that his?
Giordino?
Giordino. So he was first asked by Blakeman and said yes. Then Laura Loomer started doing a little op-ed or a little opposition research. She discovered that Giordino in the New Hampshire primary in the last election, or maybe it was either 2016 or 2020, one of the years that Trump ran, actually registered to he actually put his name on the ballot to run in the New Hampshire primary against Donald Trump. So they immediately came and said, "Did you? This can't be true. Did you run against Trump in New Hampshire?" And he said, "Well, yeah. It's a joke. Everybody used to say to me, you run for everything. You run for everything. The only thing you haven't run for is president." So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna have the last laugh. He said, I'm a Trump supporter, but I just thought it would be, I could never beat him. So I ran. I was on the ballot in the New Hampshire primary. And they said, "Well, you're not on the ballot with Blakeman." And they gave him the option to be able to say, "Okay, I decided not to run," but in reality, he was told he was deciding not to run. So to me,
just
that's
because he, in what, 2016 or this last time around?
We cannot have somebody on our ticket that ran against President Trump. So I got to tell you, I don't know why he won't tell that story. Why are you telling? And Politico has it. The New York Post has it. Everybody has this story now. So everybody knows you're sitting there not telling the truth to your constituency. That's not going to help you get reelected next year as sheriff. Just be honest. Just tell that story. I think it's kind of a funny story.
Yes, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I also am reading here he's the first person in New York State history to serve as an elected district attorney, Supreme Court judge, and sheriff.
Yeah, which kind of backs up his story of everybody says I run for everything, right?
Yeah.
On the line right now is Ryan Schmelz, Fox News Radio. Ryan, have you dug into any of this story? Has it hit your radar at all?
Not at all.
Okay. All right.
No.
All right. Don't worry about it. However, the DHS funding is going to be expiring in a few days, and Democrats and Republicans keep in the White House. Everybody keeps going back and forth, and it doesn't look like there's a deal there. And the defunding or the expiration of funding for DHS could be coming pretty quickly here. What are we thinking?
Well, we're thinking that this is not a good situation, and very well we could be heading to a deadline in the near future. Doesn't appear that any sides are anywhere closer to a deal. John Fetterman pretty much said yesterday that we should expect a shutdown. So that's kind of where things stand. It's not exactly looking good.
So what happens there?
Pretty much what will happen is that DHS will not receive its funding. ICE will still be able to be operational because ICE got funding from the One Big Beautiful Bill Act that will fund it until 2029. And, you could maybe see the administration move some things around so that TSA workers get paid and some other agencies are able to operate, because we haven't really seen this before where everywhere else has its funding, whether it be the military or some of the other agencies that fund the federal government. But the only one that doesn't have the funding is just one, and that's DHS. Unfortunately, the one that doesn't have funding is probably the one that we notice whenever the government is shut down the most and impacts the most people. But, could the administration do some things to alleviate the impacts of the shutdown if it needs to? Because every other agency has money they can move around now.
Yeah. Very interesting. So maybe, the question would be, do Democrats have the chip, the valuable chip that they think they have?
I don't know. I mean, they're talking, so that's one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they were able to fund the government without Republicans pushing back on that for other agencies. So, I mean, you can say that Democrats maybe got something that they wanted out of this, but, it depends what the final deal looks like and what they're able to come to an agreement on.
Okay. All right. Very, very interesting. Comments on the Super Bowl?
Yes. I would say it was just a classic case of one team being better than the other.
Yeah,
That's
I
like
agree.
a lazy thing to say, but it's, I think the Seahawks were just a more complete team. They were more Super Bowl ready. And it's one of those things where I think the analysts were right about everything kind of leading into it.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of them kept saying, well, the Patriots just seem like they're one draft class away or they're one free agent class away. And I mean, that was kind of on display the other day.
Yeah.
Just, the Seahawks were a little bit farther along than the Patriots were in the process. And, I mean, that's nothing to be ashamed of. The fact the Patriots made it that far is impressive
it is.
in and of itself.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like the Seahawks were more Super Bowl ready. And I think probably the biggest winner of the whole thing and the person who's been vindicated the most was Seattle's GM, John Schneider.
Yeah.
To do it with two head coaches and one of them being, considered to be an all-time great in Pete Carroll, and to move off him and to pick the next great head coach in the NFL. Pretty impressive. And
I think so.
Two defensive coaches in this modern day and age.
Well, one thing you can't say anything bad about is New England's defense. I mean, they certainly came to play, and they kept New England in the game.
Oh yeah, all right. They were on the field for so long. It was just a matter of time to start giving up points.
Yeah, you could just see it was coming. It was coming. So, and then any comments on the halftime show?
The beat was good.
I thought in terms of choreography, it may be the best choreographed Super Bowl ever. I've never seen anything like it. It was really
and I think for people, and as someone who likes to dance myself, I think the one thing I did hear from people, like from both sides of this debate, is that they are impressed that it was like a very, it wasn't like a lot of over the top stuff. Like it wasn't a lot of special. It was a very like practical sets, very normal stunts and practical stunts. It wasn't a lot of like, electricity and crazy stuff happening that we've come to see with the Super Bowl. It was very like kind of practical. Like,
it was.
Like when you had the practical effects of movies. Yeah.
I thought it was, I mean, for that, it really was spectacular. The other part is everybody expected him to go political, and instead he went pro-America, which I thought was a really smart move. And at the end of the day, I have to say, you could there are a lot of artists you could bring up there, and I would have no clue the music that they're playing. And I think last year I was a little off. Last year, last year was The Weeknd, right? Who was last? I can't even remember.
No,
that was last year. I know he did the COVID one.
Yeah. Nonetheless, not for me.
No, it was.
I wish they would do a more mainstream Super Bowl halftime show again.
We've been waiting. We've been waiting for our country artists to do it since Travis Tritt. We still haven't gotten it.
Yeah. So. However, this whole thing about why not get an American to do it? I mean, for God's sakes, people, a little civics lesson.
How to use Google?
Yeah, use Google, civics lesson. You can figure all this out on your own. You don't need us to tell you. For God's sakes.
Yeah. Kendrick Lamar was last year.
Kendrick Lamar. I was lost during that show last year. That was not my thing. My kids loved it.
People really like. People need to realize how big Bad Bunny is in Puerto Rico.
Enormous. Yeah.
It's insane.
But even around the world, I mean, this guy is, as well as in the continental U.S. So interesting stuff. All right, Ryan, we appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Of course. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio. If you're our age, you probably were completely lost.
And this was a meme, and I still think it's hilarious today. When the halftime show started, Bad Bunny turned around in his suit, but he had a football under his arm, and then he walked as he was kind of singing that just right at the beginning. And somebody said if he had taken a couple more steps, he would have had more offense.
That was
the Patriots.
They said I was reading that they said that was it was like all of America, all NFL fans thought the same thing at the same time and all tweeted out the same joke. Everybody had the same joke. And of course, the football had writing on it, and what it said is something to the effect of we are one America, or something like that. So it was a very positive message, despite what everybody thought was going to happen. So that Ja Wick asking about that. You want to have a different opinion? Feel free to let me go. Oh, he said more like pro-Dem, not pro-America. I disagree with that. I'm sorry, I disagree. And let's not forget, it's Hispanics that helped put President Trump. I mean, wake up, people. It's Hispanics that helped put President Trump in office this time around. And that's just a fact. Republicans, they voted Republican. And that's how Trump is here right now. So is he going to have him in this midterm? I don't think so.
I don't. I don't know exactly what Ja Wick's point was, but I think the issue was that all of his music's in a language I shouldn't say nobody understands.
No, the issue. There's an issue. I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
If you want to argue, why not have a mainstream show that everybody can enjoy? I get that argument. For me, it's the wrong halftime show. But to say get an American to do it. It's such an ignorant comment, and the percentage of Hispanics in this country continues to grow, although it has decreased over the course of the last 12 months. But it continues to grow in the United States. They are no longer the minority that they used to be. And as I read in one headline, if you don't accept Bad Bunny, you might want to think again, because the rest of the world does. And enormous, like really, that audience is huge. Quick break, and you want to pipe in on it? Feel free. 646 at WIBX.
Good morning, Bill. Cloudy skies and 14 degrees at 646. The ransom deadline for Nancy Guthrie has officially expired, with authorities confirming that no payment has been made. In a new video post, Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie pleads with the public for any help in locating her 84-year-old mother, Nancy. Guthrie says her family is at an hour of desperation, adding, "We need your help." Calls from Democrats for Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick's resignation are growing over his ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He has previously shared that he distanced himself from Epstein after an encounter in 2005. However, documents reveal Lutnick and Epstein invested in a private intelligence company in 2013, and email correspondence suggests he visited the millionaire's private island with his family the year prior. A recent California law that would stop ICE agents from wearing masks during immigration enforcement operations has been struck down by a federal judge. U.S. District Judge Christina Snyder, a Clinton appointee, says the law should not be enforceable because it applies only to federal agents, not state or local law enforcement, and that violates the Constitution's Supremacy Clause since it discriminates against federal employees. Bad Bunny seeing a 410% jump in his U.S. streams on Spotify after his Super Bowl 60 performance. The Puerto Rican star's music was also taking up the top 6 spots on the Daily Songs chart on Monday morning. And Bill, 2 congressmen from opposite sides of the aisle say they found the names of 6 people likely incriminated after reviewing unredacted copies of the Epstein files. Kentucky Republican Thomas Massey and California Democrat Ro Khanna said they spent 2 hours Monday viewing the unredacted files connected to the late criminal sex offender. They didn't name the men they found in the files, but said one is a prominent individual and the other is a high-ranking foreign official. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 6:48.
Cold air's been scoured out. Boy, what a cold snap that was. Frigid temperatures. Now we've turned it around quite a bit and dealing with snowfall. Weak clipper system coming through, then some lake effect, winter weather advisory, 10 o'clock this morning until 1 o'clock Thursday morning. We're not looking at blockbuster snow totals, but still enough to make it slippery out there. Snow showers continue to work in west-east late morning into the afternoon, upper 20s. Or snow showers tonight, tomorrow. Maybe some mixed precipitation in spots. Tonight's low in the mid-20s. Tomorrow in the low 30s. Could see about 3 to 6 inches. There'll be a little bit more in the North Country. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
So the cold goes, and as soon as it does, we get more snow. But anyway, it's 30 degrees warmer than it was 24 hours ago.
And I got to say, yeah, that's so just when you're like, oh, we're going to get this warm up, and you're thinking sunshine, maybe temperatures up close to 40, and then, no, well, we're going to be up close to 30, and we're going to get snow. So you go figure. Jawick, what was more watched at halftime? We all know the Super Bowl was watched for the Super Bowl, but at halftime, what was more watched? I think they are trying to figure that out, but I think there's about 4 million people that watched the Kid Rock thing. By the way, yeah. Kid Rock, who they found lyrics from his songs that talk about doing underage girls. So where are we going there? And he's named in the Epstein files. Not sure he's the right choice, but he's certainly all in. But my guess is, I think the initial was about 9 million people were watching, 8 to 9 million people were watching the Super Bowl. But I think they're going to have to narrow that down to determine, did people switch over? As for the people that were in the stadium, there was a picture of one woman who would not look at Bad Bunny, and she was holding her phone up watching on YouTube the Kid Rock show. There was at least one photo of it. It's the only one I could see. I thought that was kind of funny.
Rudy in Lowville says they say have an American do the halftime show, but nobody says anything about Green Day doing the opening, which is a Canadian band.
Coldplay, another good example.
Green Day. Oh, Coldplay.
Another example, Coldplay. I mean, the Rolling Stones, the Canadians who have performed. That's exactly right.
Bruno Mars is Canadian, I think, right?
No, he's from Mars. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong. Quick break. It is 6:50. I mean, that's
he's not.
That's an energetic performer right there. So, okay, hold tight, hold on. 6:51 at WIBX.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service. Family owned and operated since 1980, Tallman's is proud to provide trusted, professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
If your loved one is battling addiction, you should know there is hope. Through the Good News Foundation's PAL group, you will find confidentiality, respect, acceptance, and support. Learn about healthy relationships, enabling, and other important concepts to work toward healing. Go to the Good News Foundation's website and join the PAL group. When someone you love has an addiction, there is hope. Good News Foundation, sharing faith, offering hope, and serving others.
We're your neighbors, friends, and your family. We care about our community, your business, and most important, you.
We support charities like the United Way, McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center. We are the members of IBEW Local 43 and NECA Contractors. You don't just see our work, you live it. From the JMA Wireless Dome, hospitals, schools, and city buildings, the IBEW is part of the community.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
The President's Day sale is on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 on New York State's largest selection from New York State's largest specialty bedding retailer. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I spent years living in fear of calcium oxalate crystal stones, always afraid of when the next one would hit. Now I just take Kidney Cop.
Battling calcium oxalate stones? It's time to try Kidney Cop. A doctor-recommended kidney supplement that has been shown in laboratory tests to reduce the growth rate of calcium oxalate crystals by 99%. Get Kidney Cop today at Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com.
Frozen pipes? That's an emergency. Call Drain Masters now, 315-363-7802. Drain Masters has a full team of professionals ready to help you right now. Homes, businesses, mobile homes, trailers, frozen pipes, or clogged drains. Drain Masters is on it. No water? Pipes freezing? Drains backing up? Call Drain Masters now, 315-363-7802. Don't wait for a burst pipe or flooding. Frozen pipes, clogged drains, Drain Masters, 315-363-7802.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
So mad that I missed yesterday. So
was Davey.
I'm
sure. I'm kidding.
I'm sure he was. I at least gave you a warning the night before. Like, I'm having a feeling this could be a bad day. And it was nothing. It was, believe it or not, it was not a sickness, but it was a bad reaction to an infusion that I have to have, and it was pretty bad. It was off and on. Like, I'd feel good, and like it was all over with, and then boom, I was down, and that's what the timing was just perfect for yesterday. Nonetheless, all is good now, I believe. And the one thing I want to bring up to the mayor, I was at the Mohawk Valley Cancer Center on Friday talking about infusion. So in speaking to them over there, they said that everybody that's working over, now the Mohawk Valley Cancer Center is at Faxton. In fact, Faxton, I think, is completely full now with medical offices and medical facilities. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Whether it be the cancer center or you'd go there for urologists. I mean, it is filled, and that's a big building, and I think it's in really good shape. Nonetheless, the area of Sunset and Burstone Road, somebody about a month ago hit the crosswalk pole. You know where it allows the crosswalks to work, and it allows you to push the button and get a stoplight. And the nurse there said, since then it still has not been fixed. It's been going on for over a month, and all of these employees in the morning and at night are walking out trying to get across that street to their cars because they have to park over at Murnane. The employees park at Murnane.
Yeah.
So their question is, could you tell the mayor something should be done? And if they can't fix the crosswalk, maybe at least twice a day have a police officer out there to help direct traffic so these people can cross the street. She said she feels it's putting all that nursing staff and the staff at Faxton, it's putting their lives in danger.
Interesting.
Yeah, so maybe we can get the mayor on, and I can convey that message.
So he also, there was a question, I forget from who.
I believe Val Bialis is going to open in June. That'll be nice. I love skiing in the summertime.
He did talk yesterday about maybe mountain biking or having bikes be able to go down the hills.
We ought to do things in the summertime there, but why is that facility not open at, like, right? We've had snow since Thanksgiving.
I asked this yesterday.
Before Thanksgiving. Why is that? Why are they not trying to do something over there now?
2 years ago, they got grant money from Assemblywoman Marianne Buttonshaw and the state of New York, and he said it was part of his 12-month plan. I also don't understand quite why it's taken so long. Additionally, we had talked about, do you remember on the Christmas Eve show, he talked about this $10,000 donation, so they weren't going to have to charge. That's not the case. It's for certain people. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know if he used that exact term, but it's for like certain groups or like maybe certain programs, but it's not a blanket.
So it's not just free.
It's not just free. The other thing
it's
is
like a free lunch program.
You
got to show. How would you? I don't know how you do that.
I should have asked him to elaborate on it, and I did not. But he was saying there was some pushback on the council, essentially, that they wanted that to be free, right? Aside from the $10,000 donation. And I don't know, when I think about it, look, I understand the taxpayers pay a certain amount of money for operational expenses in the city of Utica, but what's the difference between a family of 4 from Utica or a family from Rome or Herkimer who comes down? How would you know? And should it be a free asset for everyone in the region?
So
because Utica taxpayers foot the bill on that.
So if you go to New York City to a museum in New York and you show your New York State ID, I don't want to get a big ID argument going, but if you show your ID, any New York ID, you get in for whatever price you want to pay. You could get in for free. You could still give them a $20 donation, but you have to do it. But how do you do it for just a city or for just Oneida County? You'd want it just to be the city even. So I don't know. We have to break, and we have news coming right up here. Stand by. We'll talk more about it. Coming up.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica. From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
It's day 10, and there's still no sign of Nancy Guthrie. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help.
Savannah Guthrie in another social media video urging anyone who might hear or see something strange.
No matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson.
Fox's Matt Finn's outside Nancy Guthrie's Arizona home where the 84-year-old was kidnapped more than a week ago.
The deadline for the ransom, the alleged ransom, came and went yesterday. It expired. Our understanding is the family did not pay out to any alleged kidnappers. So that also begs the question of whether these alleged ransom notes were ever legitimate, or if they are linked to the actual suspects in this case. The FBI says the family is not in contact with any alleged kidnappers.
And the FBI has not named a person of interest. There's a different kind of search in Georgia. A manhunt for 2 escapees who broke out of jail Sunday night in Sumter County, south of Atlanta. They're both behind bars facing murder charges. The U.S. bombed another suspected drug trafficking boat off the South American coast. 2 alleged narco-terrorists killed. Another survived, and the Coast Guard was called in to help. This as another oil tanker was seized.
The U.S. had hunted the ship called the Keeler 2 all the way from the Caribbean to the Indian Ocean before eventually boarding that vessel. Now, that vessel was operating in defiance of President Trump's established quarantine of sanctioned vessels in the Caribbean.
That's Fox's Kevin Corke. Despite recent U.S. brokered talks between Russia and Ukraine described as productive, trying to end the war, Fox's Jonathan Savage reports.
There's still a long way to go, says Russia's top diplomat Sergei Lavrov. Vladimir Putin's foreign minister suggesting there's no reason to be optimistic about how peace talks are going. Overnight, a Russian aerial assault significantly damaged an energy facility in Ukraine's Black Sea region of Odessa.
America's listening to Fox News.
Quiet down, here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors America's heroes and their families, heroes like Scott Abrams. Now, for more than 3 decades, Scott served his community and country while he was on his NYPD motorcycle escorting a funeral procession. Scott was hit by a bus, leaving him partially paralyzed. Tunnel to Towers was able to honor Scott with a mortgage-free smart home. Please join us supporting the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. If you can donate $11 a month, go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
She refused to answer questions. The late Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, convicted in his sex trafficking scheme involving underage girls, did not cooperate with a congressional investigation.
Ghislaine Maxwell was deposed from a federal prison camp in Texas, and while she pled the fifth throughout the interview, afterward, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer and Congressman Andy Biggs explained her attorney did say
she would answer questions if she were granted clemency by the president. Trump.
Virginia Democratic Congressman Suhas Subramaniam said President Trump could end this now.
We will continue to call for this president to completely rule out a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell.
Comer confirmed a list of upcoming witnesses, including former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and former President Bill Clinton, while Democrats say Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick should be deposed for his communications with Epstein as well. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
We'll get an update to the economy this morning. A retail sales report. On Wall Street, stock futures are rising modestly the day after more gains that lifted the Dow to a new record high. At the Winter Olympics, there is a men's freestyle skiing competition going on now, 2 days after Lindsey Vonn's crash ended the 2010 gold medalists' comeback in the women's downhill.
In a Monday post to Instagram, Vonn said she suffered a complex tibia fracture that will require multiple surgeries to properly fix after crashing in the Olympic downhill. Vonn became the story of the Olympics after deciding to compete despite tearing the ACL in her left knee right before the start of the Winter Games. Earlier Monday, Vonn's father told the Associated Press that she will no longer race if he has any influence over her decision. Joe Morgan, Fox News.
No medals have been won yet so far today. The host country, Italy, is atop the leaderboard so far with 9. The U.S. has just 2 medals, both gold. In college basketball, an upset. The men's top seed Arizona beaten by Kansas 82-78. It's Arizona's first loss of the season. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
We have cloudy skies and 14 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. This news update is brought to you by CSEA. The CSEA community spans the state, yet CSEA unites your voice. One voice for fair wages, one voice for vital benefits and secure futures. CSEA, one voice for many. Well, once again, we are dealing with a weather advisory. A winter weather advisory takes effect at 10 this morning and continues until 1 on Thursday morning. A closer look at your forecast is coming up. Madison County Sheriff Todd Hood now involved in the race for New York governor. Hood has accepted a request from Republican Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman to be his running mate. Blakeman initially chose Fulton County Sheriff Richard Giordino as his lieutenant governor nominee, but he decided to back out. Hood has been with the sheriff's office since 1993. He says he's honored to join Blakeman in the fight to make New York more affordable again. An opening date now set for the Valbiala Ski Facility in Utica. Folks can hit the slope starting at 4 o'clock on Friday. There will be extended hours and special rates until February 22nd. The city is offering a $20 unlimited day pass lift tickets during that time to encourage people to head outdoors. The chalet at the facility is also going to be up and running, featuring a fireplace, tables, seating, and complimentary refreshments, including water, tea, and hot chocolate. Meanwhile, West Utica Park's getting a major upgrade with new playground equipment, resurfaced courts, and more shade for families. Mayor Galini announcing that Addison Miller, Lincoln Playground, and Hurt Playground will see more modern play structures, improved safety surfacing, and enhanced landscaping to replace equipment that's been in place there since the mid-'80s. The Department of Public Works and Parks Department plan to start removing the old play units later this month, with new installations expected to be finished by late May. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Times coming up on 7:08. Here's a look at your Weather Center forecast.
Cold air's been scoured out. Boy, what a cold snap that was. Frigid temperatures. Now we've turned it around quite a bit, dealing with snowfall. Weak clipper system coming through, then some lake effect. Winter weather advisory, 10 o'clock this morning until 1 o'clock Thursday morning. I'm not looking at blockbuster snow totals, but still enough to make it slippery out there. Snow showers continue to work in west-east late morning into the afternoon, upper 20s. Or snow showers tonight, tomorrow, maybe some mixed precipitation in spots. Tonight's low in the mid-20s. Tomorrow in the low 30s. Could see about 3 to 6 inches. There'll be a little bit more in the North Country. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, cloudy skies and 14 degrees at 7:08. All right, in sports, the Raiders officially have their new head coach, Las Vegas, tabbing Clint Kubiak as the new head man. He signed a 5-year deal following the Seahawks win in Super Bowl 60. The team posted a video of the former Seahawks offensive coordinator and his family arriving in Vegas and being greeted by team staff. He will be introduced at a news conference later this afternoon. Another member of the 49ers roster involved in a shooting. The team announced that defensive lineman Keon White was confirmed as the victim of a non-life-threatening shooting incident. He was shot in the ankle early Monday morning in downtown San Francisco. In the statement, it was revealed that White sustained a bullet wound to his ankle. He's currently undergone surgery. The team said they would provide further updates when appropriate. Giants mourning the loss of a former head coach, Ray Handley, passing away at the age of 81. He was an assistant from 1984 to 1990 and helped the team win a pair of Super Bowls during that time. He succeeded Bill Parcells as head coach in 1991. NBA action, the Knicks host the Pacers tonight. Knicks coming in, having won 9 of their last 10 games. The Nets have won 2 straight games, 123-115, the final last night against the Bulls. Nick Claxton led all scorers with 28 points. Pitchers and catchers across Major League Baseball set to arrive in spring training this week. 6 teams, the Diamondbacks, Braves, Red Sox, White Sox, Giants, and Rangers begin workouts today. The Mets, pitchers and catchers, report tomorrow. The Yankees on Thursday. And Syracuse basketball plays tomorrow night. They will be on ESPNU at 7 o'clock.
Right, Jeffrey. You win $100. Ding, 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 ding.
13-11 right now, the Orange are.
And the media is still ripping into Adrian Autry as of today about why he didn't play Kion Anthony against Virginia on Saturday.
Yeah, because, I mean, they really made it a close game.
Well, he was said in the post game, I watched it after I got back with Jimmy on lunch on Saturday. He was saying the atmosphere in Virginia was kind of hostile to playing from all us playing all these years, and I didn't think it was right for him to be involved in it was a hostile environment. He's a freshman. He comes off the bench. He's averaging 10 to 13 points a game. Just because he's Carmelo Anthony's son, put him in, Adrian Autry, because your job is on the line.
Well, if it's a discipline issue, though.
It wasn't a discipline issue, they're saying. It was just his decision not to play him. So
I don't. I mean, did he do that because of the tweet that Carmelo Anthony put out? So,
well, maybe
like 3 games ago after Syracuse,
North Carolina blowout.
Yeah, they looked awful, and that's when he did his shaking my blanking head tweet, and I can't imagine that's the reason. It's got to be something discipline. Or that he's not performing. I don't know.
So there's 2 names being thrown out, which we all know Adrian Autry is probably going to get canned after the season, for 2 former players to come back. Mike Hopkins, who served under Boeheim for years, and down the throughway, Jerry McNamara at Siena.
Yeah, I'm hearing both of those. To me, Hopkins is the guy.
Siena is. I read McNamara is very happy there.
Yeah.
Hopkins would be the right guy, Bill, because
he's out on the West Coast now.
Well, no, he's on the East Coast. He's an NBA assistant now.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Wow.
So
he's got he has an opening.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And he was the rightful owner of that position.
Heir apparent.
Yeah, he was the guy. But Boeheim took so long, he's like, I can't wait any
And then
longer.
that's why he went to Washington.
Yeah.
So Lance and Lee says, Jeff, like I said yesterday, Rome does not check ID for their state skate park, ice rink, or any public function. So Utica doesn't want people from the area coming in and spending money at restaurants, stores, etc. I bought our last 2 vehicles in Utica. I'm pretty sure they received some of the $6,000 in sales tax that we paid. Utica politics are ridiculous. So
are you?
Your thoughts on that?
Are you? Is it free to skate in Rome?
I guess he's saying they don't check ID at the skate park, but I guess the difference is there a maintenance cost, like the snowmaker?
I'm sure there is, but
running
this
the
should
lift.
be this should be
different
considered
than just a skate park.
To me, though, this should be considered this is about quality of life. You're doing this for your now. If some places will do it, well, they'll have a fee. Other places, it'll be free. Sometimes the fee works better because a small nominal fee, because now you're dealing with people who really want to be there versus people who can just get in for free. The other part is if you're renting skates out, I don't know if they even do that. You're going to want to have a rental fee to be able to get those skates back. and all of that stuff.
But
so
isn't there insurance issues as well? Like somebody,
I don't know
didn't
how
Lindsey Vonn just blow out a knee and break a leg? Like, couldn't that happen on a Utica ski hill?
There absolutely could be, but I don't think they charge to swim at the swimming pool. So
Edison Miller?
Yeah, I don't think there's a charge for that.
There isn't? There's a charge of the golf course.
Let's see. The last time I was there,
I know I haven't been there in 30 years either.
I don't think I've ever been there. So I don't know, to be honest. But I could see both sides. However, charging people from Rome and not people from Utica in such a small area, I think that's Lance's point.
He says, ask Pacenti if they charge extra for people from other counties using facilities and functions. Of course he doesn't. He's trying to attract people to the area, not push them away by charging them more.
Yeah,
I guess that's a fair point. I just recognize there's an expense to it, and I don't think it's fair to just have the Utica taxpayers eat it. The other thing is, Big Honey and Hecla, he's trying to rile you up. He's asking if the museums in New York City are Jim Crow 2.0. So the museums in New York City are Jim Crow 2.0 then, Bill?
Big Honey, I don't even know what that is.
Well, because you have to show, you talked about having to show a state ID.
Show an ID to get in for free. Well, I believe that, to be honest, if you say you're from New York, they'll accept you, Big Honey. Just letting you know. So.
That's all I have for right now.
All right. And interestingly, the whole ID thing, the numbers on the whole ID thing. And listen, when we discussed last week about the voter ID, I'm simply laying out the reason for why it is an issue. But people apparently can't handle that. I don't understand that. I'm not giving you, it's not even my opinion. I'm just telling you why things are a certain way, why people are riled up over it, why it's a big deal. Wouldn't you want to understand what the argument's all about? Or you could be Big Honey and not care, I guess. So that's that. Let's see here. Dr. Hall. So Dr. Oz, apparently, I don't know, he was talking to somebody, I don't know which news network it was, but they went at it pretty hard at him, considering they're now out being very forceful, saying, take the measles vaccine. And saying, no, RFK Jr. was never said anything negative about the measles vaccine. That is not true. In fact, at one point, he said you could drink, like, was it apple cider vinegar or something that may help you prevent you from getting measles. I mean, it was something weird like that. It's ridiculous. When you continue to bash vaccines, you should not be surprised that you have a measles outbreak right now. And now they're trying to backtrack. It's just so stupid to me. But we'll talk to Dr. Hall about it coming up in a second. And we'll I'm sure I'll have a comment from Big Honey in his Hecla view. Big Honey in Hecla. You know, he's taking that town a little too literally, don't you think? In Hecla. Big Honey in Hecla. Hold tight.
I'm sorry, one more. Lance says Rome charges the same for everyone at the ice rink. And the skate park is free.
So I just don't know how you'd be able to. No one's going to bring in a Rome ID or a Utica ID. I don't know how you're able to differentiate, but I'm sure they figured it out. 717 at WIBX.
Possibility starts with the right financial solutions. From Amerique Credit Union. Get started today at amerique.org/possibility.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. It's impossible to have a bad day when you started with Chick-fil-A.
Hi, I'm Miles.
And this is Grant.
And the little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit is
how the fluffy, crispy goodness wakes us up in the morning. The chicken is crispy, the biscuit is soft, it's iconic.
Throw some jelly on it, you can throw some honey on it. It helps me kick off the day.
The hash browns are great. And I really like the shape of them too. Little circles of crispy goodness. Yeah, those early morning chicken biscuits are just great, man.
Mornings are a little bit brighter with the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit and Simply Orange Juice. Available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Frozen pipes? That's an emergency. Call Drain Masters now, 315-363-7802. Drain Masters has a full team of professionals ready to help you right now. Homes, businesses, mobile homes, trailers, frozen pipes, or clogged drains. Drain Masters is on it. No water? Pipes freezing? Drains backing up? Call Drain Masters now, 315-363-7802. Don't wait for a burst pipe or flooding. Frozen pipes, clogged drains, Drain Masters, 315-363-7802.
It's time for a Utica tradition, America's greatest heart run and walk on March 7th. And on March 6th, it's the 55th anniversary of the WIBX Heart Radiothon. Sponsored by the Slocum-Dixon Medical Group this year, the Radiothon started when local runners honored the passing of WIBX personality Ralph Ellinger. They ran for 18 miles and raised money for the American Heart Association. Celebrate with us on March 6th. Hear from Slocum-Dixon doctors about ways to be healthy. Cheer on participants in the treadmill challenge and help fight heart disease.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Yes, we do know that it's Ralph Ellinger, and I believe like long after I'm gone, they'll have like a dog show in my name or something like that, and it'll probably be like Keller or something. They'll mispronounce the name. We will have that fixed, and I apologize for that. And I don't know where that came from, out of town, right? That's why. Yep, there we go. There we go. Let's see. Lance and Lee. Bill has the Kojak Shine going on this morning. Have Davey powder that down. I'm a Kojak fan, Lance. I love it. That's my thing. Dr. Kent Hall is on the line right now. Doc, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good. How are you? I know you've been away, and you're back, and I was off yesterday, and all is good now. So welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. I heard that you weren't feeling well. I hope that you're doing better now.
So I guess I didn't realize this could happen, but I had I had an infusion, and my body spent the last 5 days apparently battling with it, because I would go from okay to spiking a temperature. It was going on all weekend long. It started right after I had the infusion. No other symptoms other than fatigue and a temperature. So, but today's good. It's like
good. I'm glad that you're feeling better. And
yeah,
those infusions can sometimes knock you on your butt. So.
Yep.
But I'm glad that you're feeling better. So.
All is good. All is good. Okay, and coming up in a second, Davey, we're going to have Mark Butler on. We'll find out, speaking of that, what money was raised for Real Men Get Tested for cancer over the weekend at Waterfront Grill at their tailgate party. All right, Doc, you have Dr. Oz taking the lead on this right now, doing the interviews, going out and telling everybody, please get the measles vaccine. And challenging when the reporter asked, how can you go for an entire year of basically negativity on vaccines, and now you have an outbreak, and isn't this really caused by RFK Jr.? Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so this is the problem with having what can only be described as really ineffective communication. So, anybody at any point in time can say, well, he said this, and he said this, and he said that, and they seem to contradict each other, because in many instances they do. So RFK has gone on record as saying, people should get the measles vaccine. He's also gone on record as saying the measles vaccine doesn't work over time, and therefore we're questioning whether it's worthwhile or not. So he's really speaking out of both sides of his mouth with this. But the reality is that that the measles vaccine is a phenomenally effective vaccine to hold at bay a disease that causes not only the symptoms that everybody thinks about, which is a rash and a fever and runny eyes and stuff like that, but it also can cause significant long-term effects up to and including death. And the measles vaccine does protect people for the duration of their life from the time that they get it, and it's given at the 15-month time frame, and then again at like about 4 or 5 years of age, and then you get protection for the rest of your life. We're seeing more measles cases in this country now than we've seen in just about in my whole career.
Yeah.
And measles is one of the most transmissible diseases that is known to man, which is why you need vaccination rates and immunity rates in the 96 to 98% range to get what we call herd immunity, so that if somebody can't be protected, either they can't take the vaccine because of medical conditions, or they're allergic to it, or whatever, that they are protected because people around them are not going to be getting them a disease. And right now, our vaccination rate, based on latest numbers, is somewhere around 92%, which is not anywhere near what we need for herd immunity. Hence, people that are not vaccinated, and those unfortunately are a growing number, are now much more vulnerable to actually contracting the disease and the sequelae from it. We know that 2 kids died last year in Texas, and this is what happens. This is the downside. And people don't think, oh, it's going to happen to me, but it's going to happen to somebody that you know.
Yeah.
So this is. As I'm sure you can tell, this is beyond frustrating for me.
Well, and it's unforced, right? This didn't have to happen. You can still get in. The problem, I think, when despite the fact that the evidence is not there, you keep talking about how I say you, but in general, how vaccines can cause autism, or I think the way it was worded was, we have no proof that it doesn't cause autism, I think is the way they were wording it. And then all of a sudden there's this real negativity on vaccines, and no one's really paying attention. In fact, even with the measles, the RFK Jr. came out and said it should not be mandatory. Measles should not be mandatory. So the message being sent to people is, if it's not mandatory, basically with schools and remember, parents can still opt out. All of that stuff has been true over the years. But when you start having that negative message around vaccines in general, it is natural for people to say, you know what, I'm staying away from all of this. We don't need it. They're telling us we haven't needed it all this time. We shouldn't be surprised.
And one of the functions of government at any level is to protect the population, whether it's from invasion or whatever. And one of the things that they should be protecting us from is diseases, and that's what public health is about. And this is a public health. This is on the verge of becoming a public health. I hate to say the word, but a public health crisis. If this drumbeat against vaccines continues, and it's not said, oh, this vaccine is bad, and it's vaccines are bad. Vaccines should not be mandated. Well, then the public health is going to be harmed and is in the process of being harmed. And we are on a path that is not going to be good for us for the next several years, because once this ship is turned, turning it back is not going to be a quick thing.
And I think that's really what Dr. Oz is trying to do right now, and that's not easy to accomplish. Go ahead. Okay, so the other question I wanted to ask you just quickly before we let you go is this. I believe it was in India where a virus broke out. Just with only a couple of people, but it has everybody up and a little nervous because they're saying that it is much more lethal than COVID ever was as they try to make sure they contain it. That was a few weeks ago. Where are we today with that?
Yeah, so thankfully that hasn't really borne fruit or blossomed as COVID did. So obviously, again, I don't know a lot about the specifics of that particular virus. There isn't a lot out there in the literature. But what I would say is that to me is an indication that while it may be very intense, it's not easily transmitted to other people. Which is a good thing. It means that it can be contained well. And, the other thing is on the downside, it's kind of a plus minus here, is because not a lot of people are getting infected or have been infected with it, then that means that it's much harder to study because you don't have that base to try and truly understand it. So it's something that's being watched, but at this point in time does not look like it's going to blossom into a serious health crisis that's going to spread beyond the local area.
I'm going to ask you with a couple of questions.
Joe is asking, is the outbreak due to the fact that that Americans have not been getting vaccinated, or that we have a large influx of illegals that have not been vaccinated?
So the vaccination rate among Americans has, for measles specifically, has gone from somewhere in the high 90s, I think it was 97%, 98%, something like that, is now down to 92%. So that's Americans not getting vaccinated.
And J-Lo is asking here for Dr. Hall, if measles vaccine protects for
life. She was really good on the at the Olympics.
Jenny from the block, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice job. Nice job, J-Lo.
For Dr. Hall, if measles vaccine protects for a lifetime, then how can people still get shingles?
I don't think the two are related.
Wasn't it chickenpox?
Chickenpox, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so shingles is actually caused by the chickenpox virus, not by the measles virus.
So with that said, you could ask the same question. If you get the chickenpox vaccine, there
isn't one, is there?
There is. Does that?
Is there?
Yep. Does that?
I thought you just had to get it. We used to have chickenpox parties when I was a kid.
You're old school.
I guess so.
My kids all had the chickenpox vaccine. So talk about that. Does that prevent shingles down the road?
So our best understanding is that it will. However, also know that the chickenpox vaccine has not been around for a long period of time, and shingles tends to be something that occurs later in life. So the overall, I would say the jury is still out on that. But based on our knowledge of immunology and of the disease process, it certainly should protect against shingles as well. That being said, there is a shingles vaccine as well.
So just a funny little aside here. I, as a parent, was the one who was against getting the chickenpox vaccine because it was new And I'm like, it's not lethal. Chickenpox is not going to be lethal. I mean, and I said the same thing. We used to have, people would have chickenpox parties. Everybody would get it. It'd be all over with. But I was overruled with all three of my children, and they all got the chickenpox vaccine. And after, almost 30 years now, maybe 35 years, I probably was wrong. I'm asking that with a question.
So I will say that early on, I was also in the camp of why are we vaccinating against a disease that really doesn't cause serious medical problems. The reality is that if you are older and you get chickenpox, so I'm talking about young adults and older, then you are actually much more prone to having some of the more severe complications like chickenpox pneumonia and chickenpox encephalitis and things like that. So there is a protective mechanism for people that are older who would not have had chickenpox yet.
Good stuff, Doc. We appreciate it. Welcome back. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and please be safe.
You do the same. Doc. You too. I want to bring in Mark Butler, the mayor of Newport, New York, and in his capacity as an assemblyman, he began this tailgate party benefit that has been going on for now, I believe, like 14, 15 years at Waterfront Grill, and it happened again. We were delayed because of a snowstorm, so it happened on Super Bowl Sunday. Rocky and Barb Fiato did a tremendous job. I don't know what it is in those cookies. I don't know if you got those at the end, but they're really good. I did not partake. I wanted so much to, but I didn't.
I did.
And they were gone by the time I got there. And now that's willpower, right?
That's what it is.
That's exactly.
Am I on here?
Yes. Good morning.
Is Mark can you get Mark on the line, Davey? I can't hear him.
Get the mayor on the horn.
All right, Mark. I think I can hear you now.
Well, I just wanted to say, Bill, I admire your self-restraint the other night. It was a great party, and we appreciate you guys showing up from WIBX.
Well, it was, and yeah, I was surprised because I don't think we got that much above zero all day. So it was cold when people came out. You had a really, really good crowd at the waterfront.
Well, I've had a chance to think about it, and I think, we're coming off the holiday highs, and it's been cold. Everybody's in their house, and I think maybe people were looking for a little bit of excitement in their lives, and I think we just hit it just right. It was by far the most successful event we've had in the 14 or 15 years we've been doing this, and it was a great turnout. It was a great time. I think everybody enjoyed themselves, so it worked out very well. Actually, we're talking, we usually do this around the AFC, NFC championships, but maybe people are in the right frame of mind by the time of the Super Bowl, and when the Bills are there next year, we'll get good turnout.
So,
speaking of the Bills, can you give me Tim Reed's home address? I want to send him a couple Christmas cards and just get my name out in front of him.
So Tim has a family of 5. So in order he wanted the Buffalo Bills tickets. There were 5 tickets. It's Rocky Fiato's season tickets for the Bills. And you get 5 tickets for a game of your choice. You get to pick a game. And so they bought tickets and bought a lot of tickets in to the whole thing. And they won. So you split it. You win 2 tickets, and then we'll do another drawing for 3 tickets. And they won the first one. So now they have 2 tickets, and they're waiting to see if their name would be pulled. And it was pulled again. They won all 5 tickets. That was really cool.
Well, you see, that's the kind of excitement we provide at that tailgate party. But there were a lot of other great prizes as well, but that was amazing what Tim pulled off there. And I just want to say publicly there was no fix on that. That was all.
No, it was the honest, very, very honest little kid that was doing the drawing, and he but Tim bought a lot of tickets for it. That was the smart move.
Yes,
yeah.
He did. Yeah, you already thanked Rocky and Barb Fiato, but they do a wonderful job. And, Rocky does a lot for the community, and I don't think he always gets the credit he deserves. He's always involved in these things, as are many other people in that community. We had the amount of sponsors we had was by far the best year we've ever had. With Steve Ponte Chevy, he gave a wonderful donation for the as a sponsorship. The guys from Tioga Construction, they stepped up. And you know what? It's really kind of turned into a community event. It's nice to see year after year people turn out and support these community events. And Rock and I really get a thrill out of that. And we were very pleased with the results this year. And I must tell you also, during my brief remarks, and they were brief, I predicted a blowout for the Seattle Seahawks, and didn't bet a single dime on the game. What an idiot I am.
Well, the only problem, you'd have to bet a lot of. I mean, because they were really favored in that game. So, what are you going to do?
4.5 points.
Yeah, that's true.
I knew they were going to beat that spread. But anyway, that's it. So anyway, I wanted to let you guys know, again, with your help, particularly with you helping us to support it. As I said, it's the best year we've ever had. We raised close to $10,000.
Wow.
We've assigned 1,000 of that to your organization.
Nice.
Real Men Get Tested. I would advise men to get those tests and not try and do it yourself like Bad Bunny did on TV.
Okay. All right.
Sorry. I couldn't miss that. So anyway, we'll have a little luncheon. We'll get together in a couple of weeks and hand out the checks. We have to convert the cash into money orders and things like that. So,
we appreciate it greatly. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you again for all your help. Now, it was a success.
Now, Mr. Ponte, Steve Ponte, Mr. Ponte, made a donation as well to Real Men Get Tested and other charities as well. And he told me to, he said, when you get back, you make sure you let Ricky Z know he should match my my donation. So what did he give? What was the amount? Because I got to be able to tell Ricky Z.
I don't want. I'll give me Ricky Z's address too, so I can get him for next year. So
I will.
I'll take
You'll
care
be
of
going
it
after him. All right. Fair enough. So
hey, thanks again.
We appreciate that from Steve.
And what a turnout! We even had your buddy Stefan there clomping around in his boot. That was nice to see him.
His boot was made for walking down there. I thought that was it was pretty good.
It was a great song. Yes.
All right, Mark. Good stuff. Thank you.
All right. Nice talking to you guys. Take care. Have a good year.
You too.
Yeah, thank you. And a $1,000 going to Real Men Get Tested for cancer. Pretty cool. All right, Davey. Our Biker's free money question this morning is worth how much money?
You know something, Jeff? Me and you got the hottest seat at the waterfront. We sat in the sun. We kept warm the whole time.
Sunshine.
Yeah, it was warm. With the sun coming through the window, it was like a magnifying glass.
It was like summertime.
$175, Bill.
$175. Your chance to win $175. We'll take caller number 5 right now. We'll do it next. 315-736-0186. Chance at $175. Caller number 5. 315-736-0186. After that, we did a story a while back about Chef David Fiola. He is from the area, and he has a restaurant in Philadelphia called Choreo. And one of the biggest hits now in Philadelphia is
Chicken Riggies.
Chicken Riggies. And he's from here. He makes them there. They're authentic. And we're going to speak to him coming up. We'll do Habaika's free money question and talk to David Fiola coming up at WIBX.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service. Family owned and operated since 1980, Tallman's is proud to provide trusted professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
Hurt in a car? Call William Mattar. 315-444-4444.
There's no championship league for small business owners. But if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation. One-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo. Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Which room is next for you? The bedroom? Your kitchen? The living room? Hi, this is Kira Meelan from Meelan's Carpet One. What's holding back that next home project? Is it budget? We have flooring choices for any budget and financing options available. Maybe it's inspiration. If so, come and talk to our experienced design team. We're here to help you get unstuck. Maybe you're putting off redoing a room because you're worried about spills and accidents. Whether it's a pet in training or a growing family, we have flooring solutions that can withstand anything life has to throw at it. We have incredibly durable tile options and 100% water-resistant carpeting that's both beautiful and practical. We have options that inspire, designers who will help bring it all together, and always a beautiful installation. To get the perfect flooring, start with the right flooring store. Visit Meelan's Carpet One on Commercial Drive East in Yorkville.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hey, we want to say portions of the program brought to you by River Hills Properties. They continue to grow in upstate New York with offices all over the place, but it's about service. Service. The book, 40 to 100 pages, everything there is to know about the home. And then, of course, the lockbox. They don't use it. Your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. It's extra service. It's full service. It's River Hills Properties, Barneville, Little Falls, Utica, Copenhagen. Offices in Newport, coming soon to Rome, and the amazing Gulf Coast of Florida, Sarasota, Naples, and Marco Island. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. And what was it? Jimmy Fallon was saying over the weekend. He is now a huge maker of greens Morelli. He makes greens every Sunday night at home. Escarole, and although it was so funny, you had a bunch of Italians standing around him, getting the picture taken and stuff with Jimmy, and he said, "Yeah, I put onions in," and they're like, "Onions? You don't put onions in greens?" Yeah, apparently.
Make them the way you like them.
Make them the way you like them. Robin is in Rome. Hello, Robin. Good morning.
Hello.
How you doing? You ready to go here?
I'm ready to go.
You know the deal. You know how this works. And you're going to have exactly 7 seconds to get your answer in. Guess if you have to. Get it in, though. Get that answer in. Here is your question. For $175 from the Obeika Law Firm. Here it is. We know the number of legs on a spider is 8, right? A centipede has no fewer than this number of legs. What's the number? Ready, go.
64.
Is it 64? No fewer than 64. This is a variable answer.
Well, you said no fewer.
I did say no fewer.
Is it 100, right?
It could be, but it's no fewer than 30. No more than 384, I believe, is the number. So the number we were looking for, Robin, was 30.
Wow, I wouldn't have got
30.
that one.
If I see a bug like that and it's got 30 legs, I'm not calling it a centipede. But apparently, technically it is. So
a thirdipede or whatever.
Yeah, kind of.
No, it doesn't make sense.
We have movie passes to the Glenwood Movieplex and Rome Cinema 8. Davey's going to hook you up with that, Robin. Thank you. And
God bless you.
And you're in Rome, so
I am.
We'll have you hooked up. So,
right near Lance and Lee.
Right near Lance and Lee. Have you met Lance and Lee?
Oh, I've probably seen him.
Probably us too.
Who knows?
At the Jimmy Fallon show the other night, I said, "Look to your right, look to your left. One of the people in this place could be Lance from Lee."
Well, this is Robin Banks, by the way, and I know you know where I live.
Oh, yes, I do, Robin. Great musician, Robin Banks. In fact, you have a new album out.
I do, yes.
All right, we'll get you back in to perform here. We'd like to do that.
Hey, cool. All right.
All right, Robin, stand by. Davey has you taken care of. We talked in Philly. Actually, had I been in yesterday, we would have spoken with Jim Jackson. And he said he was calling through, but Davey didn't answer the phone, and it ended. Otherwise, you'd have had him yesterday. But he's coming on next week. And Jim Jackson, of course, Emmy award-winning announcer for the Philadelphia Flyers. And, of course, we all worked with Jim here. In Philadelphia right now, there is a restaurant called Choreo. And there's a new hit, and they're writing about it in the newspapers and talking about it. And it's a dish called Chicken Riggies. And on the line right now is the chef of that restaurant and owner, David Fiola. David, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So we're hearing that the Chicken Riggies is quite the hit in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's going over really well.
And the other part I'm hearing is that it's not some weird version of it. It's that you're making it authentically Utica-style Chicken Riggies.
Yeah, that's right. I grew up in Rome, and it was a dish I had all my life. And once I started cooking, I started making it at every restaurant I had for like staff meal and for the kitchen and for the wait staff. And I was like, if I ever have a restaurant that it fits on the menu, I'm putting it on the menu. And it finally happened.
And it's finally happened. So tell me about Rome. Did you cook in Rome, or did you leave town and become a chef? How did all that happen?
My first cooking job was at the Valley View Country Club when I was a teenager.
Wow.
Yeah, and then that's kind of where I decided that's what I want to do for a living, and then I moved to New York City and started my career there.
That's really cool. And Valley View is just completely you would not recognize it. When you come back home, you got to check it out. There's a couple of really nice restaurants in there now, and it's just completely redone. It is beautiful.
Cool.
So talk about your restaurant in case somebody's in Philly. Maybe want to visit your restaurant and check it out. Talk about the restaurant.
Yeah, sure. So we're an Italian focused restaurant. We do pizzas and pastas. Obviously, we have chicken riggies. Our pizzas range from just a not normal, but like a margarita. But then we also do like seasonal pizzas. I have a pear and blue cheese pizza on right now.
Oh.
So we kind of like run the gamut from recognizable to stuff you might not normally think of. And like some of our pastas, we have like chicken riggies. I have gemelli pasta that has black pepper and sesame that is also kind of like a hit there, but it's one that you wouldn't necessarily think of.
Yeah.
We have a short rib ragu one. And then, I heard you talking about greens. When I first was on the line, I have a half chicken dish that I serve with the Utica greens as well.
Oh, you do? That's awesome. I mean, these are great dishes that are, for the most part, unique to our area. But, man, chicken riggies is starting to take off. It's everywhere now.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's still weird. It's still, I don't know. It's one of those dishes I grew up with, and I didn't even realize that it was so regional until I left. I just thought it was a pasta dish.
Yeah. That's so funny. And I've always said, too, that when it comes to greens, because the same thing up here, like tomato pie, every place has their own version of greens. Some people put potatoes in them. Some do it the traditional Joe Morelli way, and so many different versions. But I got to think that for little Utica, Rome, we got to be at the top of the list for escarole sales in the United States. Like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, a lot of escarole is sold here.
Oh, at Valley View, we would go through cases of it a week.
Yeah. So, and then before we let you go, so the restaurant is Corio, Corio. I always wanted to do a show where we're like, we are going to a certain city to try their famous food. So we'd like travel to Philadelphia for a Philly cheesesteak. Because you got if you're gonna have one, why not have one in Philadelphia? But if we ever do that, we'll make sure dinner is at your place.
Please, love to have you.
Corio in Philadelphia, and then you still have family here. Talk about that.
Yeah, my parents, my siblings, we've all moved away, but my parents still live in Rome.
Okay. Well, hopefully they're hearing you this morning. If not, we'll post it later, and they'll be able to check it out.
That's great.
All right, David, I appreciate it. I know for a chef's life, getting up at 7:30 in the morning ain't easy, but we do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Again, that's Corio, the restaurant in Philadelphia. David Fiola, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. Pretty wild, right?
Yeah, that's cool. I hope he does great out there.
And that dish is, and no surprise, right? Because it's such a good dish. And to think, though, that it is so unique to this area.
And listen, greens as well. You know, greens are known to have that little bit of that bitter taste.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a hit in Philadelphia with all those bitter Eagle fans and bitter Philly fans.
You're right. The bitterness. Nagel, bitter. Nagel, bitter. I do have, like when I was in Providence, they had a greens dish made with escarole. But all that was escarole, oil, olive oil, and garlic. Maybe they put some onions in there and it sweetened it up just a little bit.
Onions and greens.
Who would do that? Nonetheless, that's Greens Morelli. And, of course, the Chicken Riggies dish, if you want to check it out, it's Corio Restaurant in Philadelphia. You can look up our story online at WIBX950.com. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, and they are accepting new patients as we speak. If you're in need of a new family doctor or you're having issues with anything, you need a second opinion, sleep, fatigue, pain, whatever your issue might be, taking an osteopathic approach can be making all the difference in the world. But also, if your doctor is retired and you're looking for a new physician or you're just not happy where you are, try the Falcon Clinic. Dr. Cheryl Mattern is new to the Falcon Clinic, originally from Sequoia, and she's there now. Also, Dr. Shemaleski, Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Kosminski, also an acupuncturist, and there's OMT, osteopathic manipulation treatment. It's kind of like something you'd get at a chiropractor, but it lasts about a half an hour, and it basically frees up and loosens up everything in your body to make sure you're flowing properly, everything is working the way it should, and it really is a good kickstart for an entire month. That's how I use it, once a month. OMT at the Falcon Clinic. Call 315-507-4751. So this Constantino is, you're familiar, he's running for Congress, attacking everybody and their brother.
Sticker Mule?
Sticker Mule guy. He is going after Robert Smullen, who's the assemblyman, and is running for the seat, the congressional seat, currently held by Elise Stefanik.
Right.
And we're going to talk to Smullen, the assemblyman, coming up in a moment on some of the attacks he's dealt with. It's coming up next out.
WIBX Utica Road, W295
From the WB Tain Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
There's still no suspects and no contact in the search for Nancy Guthrie. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Savannah Guthrie in a new social media video last night, the Today Show host urging anyone anywhere to contact law enforcement.
If you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you.
A second reported deadline in a ransom note sent to TV outlets passed yesterday, but we know of no contact with whoever abducted the 84-year-old more than a week ago from her Arizona home. Fox's Matt Finn is in Tucson and reads an FBI statement.
The FBI is not aware of any continued communication between the Guthrie family and suspected kidnappers, nor have we identified a suspect or person of interest in this case at this time. We are currently operating a 24-hour command post that includes crisis management experts, analytic support, and investigative teams, but we still need the public's help. Someone has that one piece of information that can help us bring Nancy home.
That's another suspected drug trafficking boat bombed by the U.S. military off the South American coast. It's the 38th strike in the 5-month operation, targeting alleged narco-terrorists. 2 on board the boat were killed, another survived. The Coast Guard called in to help. A funding fight keeps playing out in Congress. Democrats keep demanding ICE reform, and by Friday night, or some Homeland Security funding runs out. And this morning, there will be a hearing.
The Homeland Security Committee's focus, the Trump administration's surge of ICE and Border Patrol agents in immigration enforcement in Minnesota and states across the country. Those scheduled to testify include ICE Director Todd Lyons, CBP Commissioner Rodney Scott, and other leaders of immigration enforcement on use of force tactics and the fatal shootings of protesters in Minneapolis.
It's Fox's Jeff Manasso. The Trump administration won a legal victory in its deportation agenda. A federal appeals court temporarily lifted the judge's block on ending temporary protected status for migrants here from Honduras, Nepal, and Nicaragua. America's listening to Fox News.
Quiet down. Here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. Amazing! They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Following the attacks on 9/11/01, FDNY firefighter Daniel Foley assisted in the rescue and recovery efforts at Ground Zero. Daniel spent months and months searching for victims. Now, Daniel's death was the direct result of 9/11-related cancer. He leaves behind his wife, Carrie, and their children. Tunnel to Towers paid the mortgage on the family's home. Join us. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
As the Trump administration continues controversial immigration enforcement, an attempt to deport a graduate student at Tufts University who's from Turkey has been blocked.
Rumeysa Ozturk was arrested near her home in Massachusetts last March, a year after co-writing an op-ed in the Tufts University newspaper critical of the war in Gaza and the school's economic ties to Israel. Her attorneys tell the federal appeals court reviewing her case, an immigration court ended removal proceedings, finding the Department of Homeland Security has not proven she should be removed from the U.S. Ozturk's a PhD student studying children's relationship to social media. She was released from an immigration detention center in Louisiana in May and returned to school. Chris Foster, Fox News.
Opening statements continue today in Los Angeles in a case that has social media on trial. Meta, the parent company of Instagram and Facebook, and Google, which owns YouTube.
A lawyer for a 19-year-old identified as KGM, citing internal documents from Meta and YouTube, alleging both companies set out to get children addicted to the platforms to show ads and make a profit. The teen accuses the tech companies of knowingly creating addictive features that led to her depression, self-harm, and suicidal thoughts. Meta and YouTube deny the allegations. Both have stressed they've rolled out safety features to protect users. Snap and TikTok were also named in the suit, but settled, both also denying any wrongdoing. Tech executives, including Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, are expected to testify in the trial, which is expected to last 6 to 8 weeks. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed ahead of a retail sales update the morning after the Dow closed at a record high. In college basketball, an upset. The undefeated top men's seed Arizona finally lost. Kansas beat Arizona 82-78. In the NBA, a brawl.
Oh, my goodness. Now Miles.
The call on a FanDuel network. And after that fight,
this is out of control.
2 Pistons players, 2 Hornets players were ejected. Detroit won the game 110-104, snapping Charlotte's 9-game win streak. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
We have cloudy skies and 15 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. This news update brought to you by Ashcroft and Oak, your local jeweler. Valentine's Day is almost here. At Ashcroft and Oak, you can find engagement rings and fine jewelry from watches to meaningful things and gifts. Expert employees make it easy to choose the perfect gift. Visit your local Ashcroft and Oak. Once again, we are dealing with a weather advisory. This time, not the cold. We're about 30 degrees warmer than we were to start the day yesterday, but we do have a weather system moving into the area. We have a winter weather advisory in effect from 10 this morning until 1 a.m. on Thursday. A closer look at your forecast is coming up. Madison County Sheriff Todd Hood, now involved in the race for New York governor. He's accepted the lieutenant governor nomination from Republican Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman. Blakeman initially chose Fulton County Sheriff Richard Giordino as his lieutenant governor nominee, but Giordino decided to back out. Hood has been with the Sheriff's Department since 1993. He says he's honored to join Blakeman in the fight to make New York more affordable once again. An opening date now set for the Valbiella Ski Facility in Utica. Excuse me, folks can hit the slope starting on Friday at 4 o'clock. There will be an extended hours period and special rates until February 22nd. The city is offering a $20 unlimited day pass for lift tickets during that time to encourage people to hit the slopes. The chalet at the facility will also be up and running. They'll be featuring a fireplace, some tables and seating, along with complimentary refreshments like water, tea, and hot chocolate. Meanwhile, West Utica Park's getting some upgrades with new equipment and resurfaced playing areas. Mayor Mike Galimi announcing that Addison Miller, Lincoln Playground, and Hurt Playground will see modern play structures, improved safety surfacing, and enhanced landscaping to replace equipment that's been in place since the 80s. The city will also plant a grove of larger, mature trees around Lincoln Playground to provide immediate shade, responding to requests from the neighborhood. And Stewart Shops is revealing just how lucky some of their customers have been when buying lotto tickets in 2025. The company is saying hundreds of shoppers netted just over $18 million in total winnings from tickets purchased at their stores. Nearly 500 people cashed in winning tickets worth at least $5,000, while 14 top prizes were worth $100,000 or more. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:08. Here's a look at your Weather Center forecast.
Cold air's been scoured out. Boy, what a cold snap that was. Frigid temperatures. Now we've turned it around quite a bit and dealing with snowfall. Weak Clipper system coming through, then some lake effect. Winter weather advisory 10 o'clock this morning until 1 o'clock Thursday morning. I'm not looking at blockbuster snow totals, but still enough to make it slippery out there. Snow showers continue to work in west-east late morning into the afternoon, upper 20s. Or snow showers tonight, tomorrow. Maybe some mixed precipitation in spots. Tonight's low in the mid-20s. Tomorrow in the low 30s. Could see about 3 to 6 inches. There'll be a little bit more in the North Country. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, cloudy skies and 15 degrees at 8:09. All right, in sports, the Vegas Raiders have their new head coach. He couldn't sign earlier because he was busy winning a Super Bowl with the Seahawks. It is Clint Kubiak. He was the offensive coordinator for Seattle in their win in Super Bowl 60. Kubiak was in Vegas yesterday, arriving with family, and was greeted by team officials. He'll be introduced as the new head coach at a news conference coming up later this afternoon. Another member of the 49ers roster has been the victim of a shooting. The team announcing that defensive lineman Keon White was confirmed as the victim of a shooting, non-life-threatening injuries. He was shot in the ankle Monday morning in downtown San Francisco. In the statement, it was revealed that White sustained a bullet wound to his ankle. He was undergoing surgery at a nearby hospital. The Giants mourning the loss of a former head coach. Ray Handley passed away at the age of 81. Handley was an assistant from 1984 to 1990, helping the team win a pair of Super Bowls. He also succeeded Bill Parcells as head coach in 1991. Pitchers and catchers in baseball beginning to arrive in spring training. 6 teams, the D-backs, Braves, Red Sox, White Sox, Giants, and Rangers begin workouts today. The Mets pitchers and catchers report tomorrow. The Yankees on Thursday. The Knicks will host the Pacers tonight. They're winners of 9 of their last 10 games. The Knicks are. And the Nets have won 2 straight. 123-115 your final last night as they beat the Bulls at home. Brooklyn has won back-to-back games for the first time since Christmas. They'll come up and play Indy tomorrow night. Syracuse basketball, 13-11. They'll play California at the JMA Wireless Dome tomorrow. That's a 7 o'clock start on ESPNU.
Okay. I got to tell you, I was just going through this website that Smullen's campaign has put together regarding Anthony Constantino. And they want you to get to know the real Anthony Constantino. He's the sticker mule guy who's always kind of fighting with everybody. Well, Smullen has taken the gloves off. Wait till you see what they've come up with here. Pretty wild. We'll get to it coming up at WIBX.
Valentine's Day is around the corner, and the Old Wicker Mill is your one-stop shop for all your Valentine's Day needs. We carry a New York staple, the Chocolate Pizza Company, as well as many goodies from local favorite So Sweet Candy Shop. Last but not least, the best Dubai chocolate in town. The Old Wicker Mill also carries a wide range of jewelry products from Swarovski, Brighton, Pandora, and E. Newton. And don't forget, we have a location in the North Utica Shopping Center as well as the New Hartford Shopping Center. Take it away, Mom.
That's the Old Wicker Mill, where everything we carry is fun, functional, and affordable.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Possibility starts with the right financial solutions from AmeriQ Credit Union. Get started today at ameriq.org/possibility.
Are you having a hard time making it through a day of work without foot pain or discomfort with things that used to be simple, like walking the dog? You may be thinking there's no way that something as simple as the Good Feet store can help you, like Bill.
My feet would just ache, my back would hurt, my ankles, everything just hurt. And I'd seen the commercial several times before I finally said, I'm going to do this. And I'll be darned if it didn't work. I feel a million times better than I ever did.
Another satisfied customer of the Good Feet store is Wendy.
Since wearing my arch supports from the Good Feet store, my back pain is gone and my feet don't hurt as much. And as I look into the future without pain, I see myself being even more adventurous, joyful, and full of possibility.
Come to the Good Feet store today for your free fitting and test walk. We're in your neighborhood. Find the location nearest you and book your appointment at goodfeet.com. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Discover your options at the Good Feet store.
A lot can change in 55 years, but one tradition remains. The WIBX Heart Radiothon. On Friday, March 6th, we'll celebrate this big milestone by fighting cardiovascular disease and supporting America's greatest heart run and walk. Thanks to our sponsor, Slocum Dixon Medical Group, we've got a great day planned. Interviews with Slocum Dixon doctors will cover everything from head to toe and how it connects to the heart. Hear from heart disease survivors who will warm our hearts with their stories of bravery and courage. The people who lead America's greatest heart run and walk will share details of that great event. All day long, the Treadmill Challenge will see people face off against each other to raise money that will help everyone in our community improve their health. You can phone in your donations to support your favorite treadmill challenger or the American Heart Association. We'll broadcast live from Utica University on March 6th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Be sure and join us.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fallon, host of Fox Across America. We're talking politics, pop culture, and comedy, minus all the rage and finger pointing. It's real talk for real people who just want to laugh, think, maybe learn something along the way. So join the fun weekdays at noon right here on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, Central New York's home for talk that's smart, honest, and just the right amount of crazy. Fox Across America with your main man, Jimmy Fallon.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Davey, what do you think about this this comment here from Mike this morning, who says a lot of people wanted the Bills to get Kubiak. I think he's going to find out it's a lot easier to win when you have a lot of talent versus what he's got with the Raiders. What are your thoughts on that one?
He's going to have the number one pick. He's sitting pretty with the number one pick right now. It's going to be Mendoza from Indiana. And doesn't he have like the best tight end in that Brock guy from the Raiders, the tight end there? He has the best tight end in the league.
I don't know if he's the best.
Well, he's averaging. He's had great numbers the last 2 years. So he's going into a hostile environment. But
would you rather have him than
Joe Brady?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to ask you want to comment on that?
I do not. We have some comments via the WIBX 950 app, though. J-Lo says, by the way, I wasn't at the Olympics. That was Mariah.
Oh, I screwed that up. Sorry.
Big Honey, Bill, have you ever thought about producing a documentary on the history of chicken riggies and the local restaurant owners? There are some real characters like Giorgio, Mike Gino, Bevan Rob Ash, Rosier, I think he means Rosier, and more.
You can't put him into that category.
Maybe he means somebody else. Maybe he means somebody else.
I just threw up in my mouth.
He spelled it with a Z, so maybe it's somebody else.
But the others, we have done some stuff in the past, and I have Michael Gino on camera, and sadly we lost him, and we lost Joe Morelli. There are others that have been lost, over the years. But you're right. Every Chicken Riggy's dish is a little bit different, and people have different ways of doing it. And some places you'll find shrimp. There's steak Riggy's as opposed to chicken. So a lot of different types might be a good idea.
So I so regret that we don't have this on film, but a few years ago, I don't know if you were there, but Andrew and I went to Joe Morelli's house for
I was there for that.
Memorial Day or the 4th of July.
It was during the week. We went right after. Oh, you might have gone without me.
Yes.
Yeah, when
Andrew and I
had
went.
a party, yeah.
And I don't know, I was doing something. I believe he's got a pool. I don't know if my son was there. But he and Andrew were talking, and at a table in his backyard, and as I sat down at the table, he was explaining the recipe for Chicken Riggy's to Andrew. Now, what is it? You use the cheese, you don't use heavy cream?
Correct.
And what Andrew was saying was, well, a lot of people use heavy cream. And Joe Morelli, I'll never forget this. He goes, well, you can put heavy cream in there, but you got something, but it's not a Chicken Riggy. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, Joe was adamant about that.
You've got something there, but it's not Chicken Riggy's.
It could be, like Riggy's in a cream sauce.
Yeah.
Or, add a little vodka along with it, and you get some vodka Riggy's. But a lot of people do use heavy cream. Most people use just like 2 cups of
a lot of cheese.
Pecorino Romano cheese and
that's what
and
the
a little
original
wine
recipe
in there.
calls
That'll
for, right?
Yes it is. Or chicken stock, I think is what Joe used. Nonetheless, sad to see him no longer with us. And the same thing for Michael Chino.
Yeah.
Yep. Really sad. There is I'm getting reports that there was an ICE incident yesterday in Utica. And, we've had a lot of rumors about that. And I was able to, off the record, confirm that ICE did make an arrest in Utica yesterday. And this is where I think people have to be, and I get it. I think that ICE going into a home because they think people aren't speaking English and they're just taking everybody out and leaving kids alone, or taking the kids also, taking workers, Uber drivers, people that worked construction at Home Depot. I'm against all of that. Finding a way to give them a path forward to be able to be citizens for people who are working here, earning a living, contributing, paying taxes. I'm against just picking them up and deporting them. I think that's the wrong thing to do. We're doing it. They're saying about 14% of the people who have been deported from the United States only 14% are criminals, hardened criminals who've committed violent crimes. Only 14%. However, I'm all for if you're a criminal and you're a guest of ours, and it's like anything else. Somebody comes to your house, they start stealing the silverware. You're not inviting them back. In fact, you're going to kick them out, as we should do, as we should deport those people. If you're committing especially violent crimes, you should be gone. I have no problem with deporting those people. So what I had told the person who tipped me off yesterday, and I was able to confirm that there was an ICE incident. I'm not calling it a raid because it wasn't a raid. It was what I understand, it was a police stop. They stopped someone so it was a traffic stop. And these were people that are being charged, 3 or 4 people that are being charged with a very bad criminal act.
Okay.
So they would fall well into that category. And I'm still trying to get all the details from the Northern District, but this warrant for their arrest came from the Northern District Federal Court, Northern District of New York. So you look like an idiot if you're protesting the fact that ICE just let's just use someone wanted for sex trafficking. and there's a warrant for their arrest, and you're saying get ICE out, well, what are you saying? Are you saying it's okay for these sex traffickers to be on the street? The answer to that is no. So be careful automatically thinking when ICE is involved that automatically it's a Minneapolis type raid, because that's not the case. And from what I understand, what happened yesterday was legitimate, with a warrant, and these were bad actors, or at the very least, they're being charged and they will see their day in court. Disagree with that?
I don't disagree with that.
If you're hurting people, murdering, raping, sex trafficking, bringing drugs into the country, we don't want you here. I'm okay with that, personally. Anthony Constantino. The real AnthonyConstantino.com is the website. It's put out by the campaign of Robert Smullen, the assemblyman, who is running for Congress here in upstate New York, in the district currently being held by Elise Stefanik, who is retiring from Congress. On the line right now is Robert Smullen. Good morning, Robert. Assemblyman, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill. It's great to be on WIBX this morning. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, thank you. And all right, you have been attacked pretty ruthlessly by this very conservative, very Republican Anthony Constantino, who's saying you're not a real Republican. He called you at one point a coward, considering your military experience. That's a joke. That accusation is a joke. But then maybe what's really a joke is him being a conservative and a Republican. What do you know?
Well, yeah, we had to finally say enough is enough, Bill, and respond. And what the truth is, what the real AnthonyConstantino.com is about is exposing him for the fraud that he is, and that he's actually unfit to serve in Congress, and that he's trying to buy an election, essentially. And the truth of the matter is that he was a Democrat until late into 2024. And he's kind of dressing himself up as a conservative Republican, that he's a big Trump supporter. But the reality is that he did not vote for President Trump in 2016 in the Republican primary because he wasn't registered as a Republican. In fact, he registered twice as a Democrat, once in 2018 and once in 2022 as a Democrat. So during the time that I was supporting President Trump, during the time that I was actually a member of the Trump administration, appointed by President Trump as a commissioner on the President's Commission on White House Fellows, he was actually a Democrat, and he re-registered as a Democrat during the Biden administration. So that's the real truth about Anthony Constantino.
That doesn't necessarily mean, I know you said it means he didn't vote in the Republican primary, and that's true, but it doesn't mean he didn't vote for Trump.
Well,
he couldn't in the primary.
No, in the general election, though.
No, he couldn't vote in the primary, which launched President Trump into this race, which made sure that he was the Republican nominee.
I understand that. No Democrat could vote in the Republican primary, though.
That's right. So what people need to realize is that we're facing a Republican primary here. This is about Republican primary voters. It's about the conservative Republicans. And the fact of the matter is I've gotten 5 of the last 5 Republican county committees to endorse me. The last one, just this past Saturday, Washington County endorsed me unanimously. They had a choice, and they made the choice, and they picked Robert Smullen, and I think that's going to continue. We've got a lot of momentum in our campaign.
I see. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I see on the website as well. Again, this is from the Smullen campaign. It says the real AnthonyConstantino.com. It says he went as far as donating to Democrat Paul Tonko, who voted to impeach President Donald Trump. His company. See, this is what I want to ask you about. His company does business with Democratic Party organizations: North Carolina Democrat Party, Oklahoma Democrat Party, Democrat National Committee. He's in business. I don't know that that's a check against him. Should he not do business with them?
Can I answer that first, Summerman, just for a minute?
Absolutely, Bill. Go ahead.
I just would like to say that's fine, and I agree with that. However, he doesn't allow that to apply to anyone else. He attacks everybody else for anything. In fact, Joe Rakowski, he claimed Joe's wife was a fraud. He makes all of these accusations against everyone, but for himself, he can do all of these things that are backhanded, including, I understand you're doing business with Democrats, but I got to say, for somebody who's he says, so pro-Trump, the only pro-Trump candidate, then why is he selling these stickers that say, nope, Trump 2024, that have Trump on all fours, with Putin's underwear in his mouth, saying a match made in heaven, and you can say, well, these were done years ago. I don't know. He's got a sticker that says "Quiet Piggy" that looks like President Trump kind of as a pig. So that's got to be new. That comes from the interview on the airplane on Air Force One. So I'm sorry to interrupt, Assemblyman. You would have said all that anyway, but I just felt so compelled.
Well, what listeners need to know, and this is what's going on, is that in the Republican primary, we have one real conservative Republican candidate, and that's Robert Smullen. You go to robertsmullenforcongress.com, you'll find out what I'm all about with policy. And that's what we want to talk about is policy. But what we're talking about here is someone who thinks that they can profit from this anti-Trump, anti-ICE, anti-law enforcement, all of the things that the conservative Republican voters need to know about, that this is the real Anthony Constantino. So when they go to make the choice, they need to keep all of those things in mind. It's protected by the First Amendment. People can make money off of whatever they want to make money off of as long as it is legal. But the fact of the matter is that the real AnthonyConstantino.com needs to be shown to all of the Republican primary voters.
I think, everything we've talked about up to this point is certainly egregious and contradicting to what he claims he stands for. But what I'm going to tell you here, some of the stickers that have been sold that are available through his company, F Trump. All right. There was F Biden stuff. But the biggie, Robert, the biggie, forget the whole Trump thing. There is a sticker on your website, and I'd like to know some background on it, that says, "Kill the police." What's the background on that?
Well, there's all sorts of stuff. And, in fact, Sticker Mule, the company, after the George Floyd riots, wanted to end all police unions. They've got all sorts of rhetoric out there. And this is what the real Anthony Constantino cannot hide from, is that his past is coming to haunt him in this race, because it's there to show all of the Republican primary voters that he is who he is, and that they should actually support the real conservative in this race, which is me. And that's a fact, and that's clear to everybody. Yeah. I urge everybody to go to the realanthonyconstantino.com to take a look at it.
Is that kill the police sticker? Give me a background on that, if you could.
Well, that one and the F-ICE sticker, we've been talking about all these things. I am pro law enforcement. I am pro law and order. And in fact, what he is profiting off of is the very opposite of that. And that's egregious, and that needs to be known by all the people out there.
Yeah, it certainly looks like he doesn't care about anything, any morality or any political stance. He'll make money off anything. It's what it looks like here.
I see here on the website, it says, and I'm quoting here, at the same time, Sticker Mule actively sells pro-transgender merchandise, including items explicitly targeted toward children. And you have some examples of that up here as well, along with some tweets that Sticker Mule, that were in the Sticker Mule business name, that came out after the George Floyd situation. So you can see all that up here on this website.
Yes,
go ahead.
Well, no, it's just one thing after another, and that's the real AnthonyConstantino.com.
I do have to, I'm being criticized, but it also criticizes you, Robert, so I'll read it. This is from regular Lance and Lee. I noticed Smullen doesn't bring up his own felony charges that were reduced to violations somehow. Look at Bill protecting Smullen. How nice this is. Now I'm carrying your water, Robert, according to the listener. Explain what happened then, could you?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. I really do appreciate you for telling the truth and having me on the show. So, my opponent in my 2018 assembly race in a primary brought up an issue of taxes for a combat veteran tax exemption that I had on a second home. And that was a mistake. I corrected it. I paid the money back. It was all during the heat of a campaign. And when the campaign was over, it was immediately dismissed from this big trumped-up charge down to town court, and it was dismissed as a non-criminal violation. That's the story. That's all that this is about. And this whole idea that there's some sort of equivalency between the tax issues of Anthony Constantino and myself is patently false.
And if I could, with full disclosure, to show how the world can all get along, I worked on that campaign against Robert Smullen back in that when that actually happened. So since then, you and I have spoken, and we've gotten past that. And, sometimes you do what you do because you got to do it on a campaign, and sometimes you regret it. But here we are today, and here I am supporting you in this campaign. So in full disclosure.
Yeah, thanks very much for that, Bill. 8 years is a long time. And in that 8 years, I would remind everyone that I've been reelected unopposed 3 times in the Mohawk Valley as the assemblyman. And I'm someone who cares for the entire assembly district. I'm a servant leader. It's my job to represent everybody. And what's happening is that Anthony Constantino is lying to the voters and trying to hide things. And he's trying to use these old stories to be able to do that. And it's just not working. People can see behind it. They know who the real Anthony Constantino is.
Could I take just a couple of minutes to ask you a few questions? Because, listen, you're running for Congress. I'd like to ask you a few questions on part of your expertise, and that is being in the military and at the level you were when it comes to foreign affairs. If you could just take a couple of minutes.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. I've been around this world a time or two, 3 combat tours in Afghanistan. I've actually worked at the Pentagon. I've served at the White House. I've worked on national level energy policy. And all the things that are happening in the United States in terms of foreign policy, in terms of its energy policy, those are the things that I'm able to contribute at the highest level. So when people think about sending me to Congress, they can rely on somebody that's going to do the right thing. But the reality about Anthony Constantino is that he didn't pay taxes in multiple states, and this is about him lying to the voters.
Yeah. I did want to ask you about your thoughts on what's happening with Iran. Are we going down the right road right now, in your opinion?
Well, this is a tough one. Iran, the Iranians, the mullahs, the ayatollahs, they've been at war with the United States since 1979. And it's time, just like President Trump is standing up to them and trying to stop them from getting nuclear weapons, trying to stop them from abusing their own people, trying to make sure that they adhere to basic standards of human rights. This is a tough one, and it's been going on for a long time, and it's going to keep going on until something different happens with the Iranian people.
I'm not going to get into Venezuela, but I do want to ask you about Ukraine. And a lot of stories have come out that right now we're negotiating an enormous trade deal with Russia, but it would mean that Ukraine would completely surrender, and who knows what they would give up in that deal. Do you still support Ukraine? And what should we be doing for Ukraine right now, as this war is taking a huge toll, certainly on Ukraine, but it seems to be taking a huge toll on Russia as well?
I do. I support Ukraine. They have stood up to the Russians, and they have done what's necessary to preserve their own sovereignty, which they're in the process of. So I think we should support them in preserving that sovereignty. But at the same time, we need to bring this war to an end. It's bad for all of Europe, and it needs to get back to a more normal thing. There's great advantages to trading with Ukraine, whether it's for agricultural products like food supplies and for things like fertilizer, but it's also in things like strategic minerals that they're very rich in. So, this is part of the normal push and shove of international relations in Europe, and I do think it's time, and I would work very closely with the Trump administration to bring this war to an end.
Would you trust a $1 trillion trade deal? Would you trust Putin in what is being called an enormous trade deal with Russia?
I would trust it, but I would also reflect on Ronald Reagan when he said, trust but verify, and make sure that the guarantees are ironclad. You know, we have our NATO allies that are very important to us. We need to maintain good relations with them in Europe, and I think this can be brought to a conclusion, and I look forward to that.
Got to say, I don't know of anyone that has more knowledge that they could lend to a congressional seat than you here. Final question from Manaski.
Excuse me. Tom in Utica says Smolin on multiple occasions has said that Constantino is unfit for office due to his behavior, his unprofessional conduct, his social media presence, etc. Why does this make Constantino unfit for office in Smolin's view, but not Donald Trump?
Well, certainly Anthony Constantino is his own person, and the idea that his behavior, what he exhibits to everyone, and I'll let everyone draw their own conclusions. Go to therealanthonyconstantino.com and see what he's really like. But people need to know that I'm the conservative Republican in this race. I am the person that's a strong, substantive candidate, that I'm the servant leader that won't let the people in the Mohawk Valley, in the North Country, in the 21st Congressional District down. They need to make that judgment themselves, and I urge them to go to robertsmollenforcongress.com to find out all about me.
But so I think the point, though, was it seems like there's a standard that you feel there's a standard for a member of Congress, and you feel like he's been inappropriate outside of those bounds yet, but you don't offer that criticism for the president.
Well, certainly it has to do with Anthony Constantino and his lack of dignity and respect and all of the lies and the fraud that he is. People really need to know and understand that. And to say that, well, that's an equivalent thing with President Trump is just not the case. People need to know that President Trump appointed me, that I support President Trump and his policies, and that as a member of Congress, that's the voice and the values that I would take. But let me be clear, Anthony Constantino is no Donald Trump at all.
All right. Assemblyman, we appreciated that website, by the way, is a bit graphic because it's accurate. The real AnthonyConstantino.com is the website. And Assemblyman, we appreciate having you on here this morning. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bill. Always appreciate to be on WIBX and connect with all the listeners out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thanks. That is Assemblyman Robert Smolin. Hold tight. Still to come.
He obviously didn't want to answer that question.
Well,
he doesn't want to be critical of Trump.
Well,
which I understand.
Correct. If he's critical of Trump, he can't win this race.
Right.
So, which is why I guess I won't go any further.
So Lance and Lee, here's just a comment from here. He says the primary is golden for Jen Bean. He's a shoo-in after this circus.
I do have to say, I first of all, it's very interesting. I wanted to get Robert Smolin's take on Ukraine, because right now there is it's being reported, and quite credibly reported, that there is in fact, it was discovered by Ukraine intelligence and European intelligence that the deal being cut right now would call for a complete and entire surrender by Ukraine. And as a result, the United States would enter into a $1 trillion trade deal with Russia, which, in my opinion, would completely rescue Russia from everything that we have tried to accomplish over the course of this war, in order to put them in the very difficult economic position that they're in, and it is getting worse. I don't know how the United States, how the Trump administration could support this, and and I didn't hear Smolin support that. However, coming out and criticizing Donald Trump, you do that, and you're going to end up like Elise Stefanik. Now, the Jen Bean, who we will have on soon, I got to tell you, I think he's also a very solid. I would not, just because he's a Democrat, I would not overlook him. He's moderate to conservative. He's a farmer. He speaks well. He's not, well, there may be a primary. It's not like this. This is like a beat up, punch him out, knock him down type primary with this Constantino. And he's going to be immune from all of that. This is going to be a very interesting race, I think. Anyway, the website, for what it's worth, take it. Just for the record, also, neither Jeff nor I can vote in this race.
That's true.
It's not our congressional race.
I completely respect his military service. I was just passing on questions we've got there. And I did have the criticism.
It's a fair question.
I feel like, he should be allowed to do business with whoever he wants. This is still America. But are you even allowed to? I guess he could decline business with the Democrat committee or something like that.
Yeah, but I think the problem comes. It's more of a what's good for the goose is good for the gander thing. Like,
I agree.
He would if somebody else were doing this, he would be this Constantino would be all over them.
I do agree.
But for him to be able to do it, he's certainly not promoting it, but he's making money off both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a fair criticism from Smullen. Interesting. The website is therealanthonyconstantino.com. 843 at WIBX.
Valentine's Day is around the corner, and the Old Wicker Mill is your one-stop shop for all of your Valentine's Day needs. We are offering 20% off of all Pandora jewelry and Barefoot Dreams loungewear now through Valentine's Day, along with many other sales throughout the store. And don't forget, Valentine's Day is also about the kids. Both of our Old Wicker Mill locations have a kids department filled with toys and goodies to help satisfy those needs. We have 2 great locations for your shopping convenience. Take it away, Mom.
That's the Old Wicker Mill, where everything we carry is fun, functional, and affordable.
If your loved one is battling addiction, you should know there is hope. Through the Good News Foundation's PAL group, you will find confidentiality, respect, acceptance, and support. Learn about healthy relationships, enabling, and other important concepts to work toward healing. Go to the Good News Foundation's website and join the PAL group. When someone you love has an addiction, there is hope. Good News Foundation, sharing faith, offering hope, and serving others.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service, family owned and operated since 1980. Tallman's is proud to provide trusted, professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
Possibility starts with the right financial solutions from AmeriQ Credit Union. Get started today at ameriq.org/possibility.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hey, right now it's Steve Ponte Mazda. They wind down their New Year New Mazda sales event. This month, they have 75 new 2025 Mazda CX-5s in stock for you to choose from. Take advantage of 1.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-5s, 0.9% on the turbo models. See the dealership for details. And as Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda, where it's always easy to do business. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. And upstate New York winters have been no joke. This has been awful. And now we're trading the cold for more snow. which is expected to develop later today, which means, man, your energy bill, if you thought the weather was bad, wait till you get your national grid bill. New York Sash can help with updated installed windows, doors, and bathroom models all across the area, and even they do it in the freezing cold. Every job is done one opening at a time to keep the heat in, with floors protected, installations sealed tight, and results built to last, all backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. You can learn more about their Upstate Tough promise at upstatetoughny.com. You don't have to wait all spring long. Call New York Sash today at 349. Call New York Sash today at 624-7344 or visit them at 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro or online at newyorksash.com.
Man,
took me a while to get through that. Sorry.
21st Congressional District is enormous.
It is a large district.
It's like a third of the state. It's the top hat of New York State.
Yep.
One more from Lance. I voted for Stefanik the last 2 or 3 elections. I won't be voting for either Republican that is in the current race. Rutkowski should have pushed harder to run this time. He would have been a much better choice than the 2 guys running right now.
I think Joe is doing well with his business, and my guess is his wife was like, no. That's just a guess. Tanya J. Powers is with Fox News Radio, and I want to play this before we get to Tanya. This is from yesterday. Savannah Guthrie making another plea for the public's help in finding her mom.
We enter into another week of this nightmare. Thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt, because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers. We believe our mom is still out there. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Yeah, this is just a heartbreaking story. Tanya Powers, good morning.
Good morning. It definitely is. And that video is of note because it appealed to the public, not to the kidnappers, as the earlier one did. She said that no matter if you're far from Tucson, if you see something or hear something, let them know.
Boy, you just can't help but be so... I mean, I and Tanya, you weren't either. It was the Lindbergh, the kidnapping that occurred, something that certainly my grandparents talked about. It's very similar to that, just in that it's taken the country by storm here. Everyone in the country is somewhat vested in this story.
Yeah, this is one of those things that, Savannah Guthrie has, quite a level of fame as a Today Show anchor for many, many years. But not only that, a lot of people may not realize her mother has made appearances on the show. It's not like nobody knew who she was. If you've watched the Today Show with any regularity, you've probably seen, her segments or them talk about her or whatever. That, so she's known to quite a few people anyway. So it's sort of like an extended level of fame there with the fact that she's now missing. Yeah. The FBI has put up billboards in several cities, major cities in Texas, California, Arizona, New Mexico. They've still got the $50,000 reward that they're offering for any information in the case. They do say, though, that they are not aware of any ongoing communication between Savannah Guthrie's family and any suspected kidnappers. And we're in, day 10 of this now?
Yeah. Last night they were back. It's just basically going through her home and the home of the sister and brother-in-law, looking to take out, and this is the second time they've been at that house over the weekend. So I kind of wonder what their... it almost feels like this had to be someone who knew her, because there doesn't seem to be a break-in. I mean, what do we know? But
yeah, there's different things that I've lots of speculation. Obviously, that people have. The Pima County Sheriff's Department says that they have received thousands of tips, thousands of calls to law enforcement that they are, investigating each one of those. They're taking them seriously. It's a day by day sort of thing. We do know that as of yesterday, People magazine had reported that a source confirmed that as of 2:30 local time, no payments had been made towards the Bitcoin account that is provided in one of the purported ransom notes.
Mm-hmm.
So that has apparently not been done either.
There was also a story that Savannah and her siblings had spoken to the captors, or at least those claiming to be kidnappers. But the FBI says they're not aware of that. I don't think that's been confirmed.
No, I mean the ransom notes hasn't even been confirmed by law enforcement officials. So there's a lot more questions than there are answers.
So out of this, I can't help but go down this road, and I'd ask you. I think there are a lot of adult children today thinking about, boy, do we have the right alarm system? Do we have are things working? Is there a subscription? I mean, you wonder, how did we get to this point? And it looks like we have no video. There's video everywhere. There's a camera everywhere you turn. And somehow this just happened and there's nothing there. That's just the shocking part for me.
Yeah, there's been a lot of questions, and I'm sure that, like you said, there's been a lot of adult children who are, wondering, okay, about the safety of their own parents. I think when this first broke, a lot of people thought, well, maybe she wandered away. How is her health? That kind of thing, which would terrify anybody. But the fact that they believe she was taken from her home against her will is even scarier.
Yeah. Okay, really just a tragic story, and boy, the longer it goes, the less you feel like there's going to be a positive outcome, sadly.
Yeah.
All right, Tanya, thank you as always. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Tanya, J. Powers from Fox News Radio. I want your opinion on this. How do you judge? First of all, I think the sheriff has been, has been a hot mess.
Yeah.
In the beginning, he's crying.
There was a photo of him over the weekend at a basketball game when all this is breaking down.
This is this is where I'm going. How do we judge this guy? So it's Saturday night. I believe they're currently, the FBI is currently inside the home of the sister, and they're searching the home. So they're still out. The Guthries have just put out another video. If you've seen anything, the thought is that they're still out the police are still out looking and searching and trying to find a clue. And here's the sheriff hanging out in row number 2, courtside at a Santa Fe. What was the college?
Arizona.
Was it an Arizona basketball game? A college basketball game. Which they say, according to reports, he has no real tie to, but he must have had tickets.
University of Arizona and Oklahoma State.
So do you give him a pass? Listen, I've been working round the clock. I got to get out.
Geez.
Go
Honestly,
somewhere where people can't see you.
Yeah.
Have a drink at home. Do something. But you're going out in public? I think it was a bad look, personally.
Yeah, certainly it's not a good look. But I think, I'm just going to say, sometimes I think we forget that members of law enforcement can't dedicate 24/7 to a case, I guess I'll say. They have their work hours. There are multiple people investigating it. I don't know that it's healthy, for one, or necessary that the sheriff be involved, again, engaged 24/7 around the clock, but I will admit this is not a good look.
Not a good look. I mean, you just got to think about the optics. Just what are people going to think? Well, I wanted to go to the game.
Yeah.
Well, skip it till we get through this. Some comments. Mike says, Savannah must be feeling a certain amount of guilt because of her fame is probably the reason why, in all likelihood, her mother was kidnapped in the first place.
Yeah, it's not fair to project that, though. I will say if it was a family member, I mean, would it have mattered if she was famous or not? If it is someone tied to them in close proximity to the family or a relative of some kind, would it have mattered if she was famous or not? Certainly that's the motivation for what they want, $6 million in Bitcoin.
Well, but you may feel guilty that you didn't get her a better alarm system. Everybody I talked, this is Ann in Rome. Everybody I talked to loved Jimmy. I agree. Other comments here. I want to get as many in as I can. Why can't Utica residents apply for a park pass? It's not rocket science. As a kid, I got into the village pool with a pass my parents got as taxpayers, and that was back in the 70s that we were taking advantage of that. Wayne, I always make my head shine. Lance is one of them basement dwellers with acne and messy bed hair. Thank you, Wayne.
Wayne's got your back.
Let's see. Joe, is the outbreak due to the fact that Americans haven't been getting vaccinated, or we have a large influx of illegals?
Well, I did ask Dr. Hall that.
It's Americans not getting vaccinated. And it's you can clearly trace it back to RFK Jr. telling people not to get, maybe at the very least creating a cloud over the entire vaccination process. And that he indeed did do, and spread things that were conspiratorial that really weren't true or proven. That's a problem. Let's see. Yes, great idea for the sheriff to go to a basketball game to a team who is now number 1 in the country. He won't be seen. He is going to be seen and was seen. On YouTube, Tony Baloney, good luck with that happening. Time for real change. John, I can't get into all of it because there's too much there. Sorry, guys, on YouTube. And I've run out of time. We're back here tomorrow morning. Enjoy your day.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
Frozen pipes? That's an emergency. Call Drain Masters now, 315-363-7802. Drain Masters has a full team of professionals ready to help you right now. Homes, businesses, mobile homes,